Yeah, I want to talk about question task 4D. So task 4D is all about dependent and independent demand, right? So the student must distinguish between dependent and independent demand, right? I've shared a lot of information on this. I've shared a video. Um, I've shared a I've shared a quiz. We've spoken about it in class or in our coffee shop last week. We dealt with this, I think, thoroughly. I gave numerous examples. So you have to talk about you have to distinguish between dependent and independent demand while discussing what other ordering techniques might be fitting for the airline industry. So I want you all to take note that, well, first of all, FlySafe is not a manufacturer, right? So that means they will not be doing what? FlySafe will not be going with their inventories will be independent demand inventories, right? Generally, that's FlySafe. Global caterers, since they're catering, um, they're producing something, so they may have some dependent demand items. Anyway, how do you answer this question? Define independent and define dependent demand inventories. That's what you need to do. See helpful link here, right? There's a link on the definition as well. FlySafe is likely to use independent demand methods for consumables. So that's what you want to say. That is the argument you want to establish. Establish the argument that FlySafe should be addressing the inventory through independent demand methods like economic order quantity and fixed order point systems and even taking goods on consignment, right? So when you receive goods and what you don't use, you return, right? I don't know what items they could apply there, but that is used in some industries. So and North Star for items not used, right? So maybe I have an idea. Maybe rivets in an overhaul. Let's say in an overhaul they didn't use the 3,000 rivets, they use 1,500. Then the company can take back the balance, right? Whether it be North Star or whichever organization. That's the point. That's the point I'm making, right? I don't know if you all are hearing me. Let me see if they are hearing me. Excellent, good. So glad you're hearing and you're participating. Yeah, they can return to recycle them. Yes, that can happen too. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, yeah, recycle. If they're unserviceable or damaged, maybe rivets. I don't know if they do recycle them. I've never heard of it, but whatever can be recycled, that's a possibility, right? And I want to go back to consignment negotiation. The whole concept of goods on consignment is basically being charged for what you use, and then what you don't use, it will be returned. All right. So that's question D. That's the first part of question D. Actually, that is how you answer question D. The other questions are E and F. Hold on. So this is supposed to be E. And this is supposed to be F. All right. Okay. Now, this is a guideline document. It's not the actual document you will be doing the work on. So just remember that. All right. So that is D there. D is all about dependent and independent demand. You need to have a conversation. Very good. Hey, Brian, what's up? Very good, Brian. I thought you all were out of it today. Yes, Brian, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely right. And in FlySafe is not a manufacturer in the main, except to say that, you know, their subsidiary company, Food for the Skies, they do produce, they do catering, right? But in the main, FlySafe is not about producing things in the main, right? And you're right, they more have finished goods. So they will use independent demand techniques like the EOQ and the min-max order system and so on. All right, testing 1, 2, 3. All right, nice. So Brian is with us. Question number, well, question task, question, sorry, the next question will be task 4E. E as in egg, E as in echo. Recommend inventory solutions for specific inventories. Okay, this is a something I don't think we spoke about really. So for category, you have different types of inventories, right? Inventories are broken down into categories. You want to listen to this. Listen to this carefully. You have category A, B, and C inventories. You want to hear that? You have category A, B, and C inventories. Category A inventories are usually called the critical few. The critical few. And category A inventories usually contribute to 80% of your spend, all right, but about 20% in terms of quantities, right? So in the airline industry, you'll find high value items like engines and turbines, but you don't have them in large quantities. Those are your category A inventories. Coming to that, what do I mean by inventory solution? Oh, all right. So I'll tell you. All right. So for example, for category A inventories, what method you will choose? In other words, negotiate. How should FlySafe manage high value inventories? Those like engines. Then engines, those engines that will attract reverse logistics, for example. How would they manage those inventories? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Excellent. Very good. Y'all doing well. Definitely, yes. A just-in-time approach. That's the best. That's the best way to deal with those items. A just-in-time approach, particularly in the aviation industry. Yes. And then you have your category C inventories, which are low in value, and you have very large quantities of them. Right. So they are low in value, and you often have very large quantities. Right. Hold on. Right. Yeah, low in value and usually have very large quantities. Yes, yes, indeed. So like rivets, for example, and O-rings. So those are usually called a category C items. Those are usually called the category C items, right? So your category B is just in between, right? It's just between A and C. So category A items is like your engines, right? Engines and all high value spares. Right? And right, yeah. But I think I'm not sure if the case did mention yes, well, I didn't put category C. I didn't put category C, but category C is a category, and you have to find a way of addressing it. How should they deal with low value inventories? Well, how to manage those items? You can have vendor manage inventory for those items, right? So let the vendor replenish rivets accordingly, if possible, because most likely those items might be coming from abroad. But if possible, let the supplier replenish those small value items for you. Are you with me on that? Yeah. When you say workstations, what do you mean? When you say workstations, what do you mean? And yeah, for category B items and even C items, you could have a two-bin system. Two-bin system is interesting. It's like, let's say I have a container with 10,000 O-rings or 10,000 rivets, and I put that container out on the hanger floor, right? Once those rivets, once the container becomes empty, then it will trigger me to put a new container outside and replenish. So that is what the two-bin system is about, right? When we say two-bin system, that's what we are referring to, right? So for category B, inventory or C, a two-bin system can work. That's one option. Or vendor manage inventory, right? Or consignment arrangement, right? All right, and hold on. And you have recommended just in time for the high values, which is good. Right. All right. Yeah, just put some notes there. But just referring to the maintenance and inventory. Oh, okay, okay. So Brian, let me just wrap up something. Brian, Negosi, Tariq, whoever is there. In terms of dealing with the inventory categories, there are certain things you can do. So all your inventories will not be the same. Some will be expensive, some will be not. Some you will have in large quantities, some you will not have in large quantities. Right? Usually, though, those in aviation, those high value inventories, you cannot afford to have them in large quantities, right? So where you can have a just-in-time system for them wherever you can, and to constantly do a physical review of those items as much as you can. Continuously track those items, track them closely, right? They may have RFID codes on them or barcodes, right? Pay close attention to them, right? Those category C and B items, as I said, um, you can have, you can use the same fixed order point system. You can use two-bin system. We can use we can have a consignment arrangement with the supplier, right? We can also have vendor manage inventory. Let the vendor manage it electronically, right? So if Negosi issues 10, you like it? Okay, beautiful. Brian, you've worked in inventory before? Or this is your area? Inventory is your area, Brian? Since you're fond of it. All right. So yeah, so that's the point I'm making there. If you're not clear, yes, I was there before I got into marketing. Oh, that's why you're fond of it. Yeah. All right. All right, nice. That's cool. I have one more minute in this recording. Let me see if I could because I'm screen recording. All right, so I don't think I would be able to make it. All right, so I'm gonna end this here. We're gonna continue, of course. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Task 4. Task 4E. Task 4E.